Hello, this is Sierra and welcome to another video. Today we are reading chapter 21 of Hermitcraft Mayhem. This is a Minecraft inspired fan fiction where I put Minecraft YouTubers that I watch and enjoy into a Minecraft related universe, and see what happens. In this case, well, obviously it's Hermitcraft. And yeah, we're diving into Bdubs' perspective this week, and yeah, captions are available if you want to follow along. And if you are enjoying these videos, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't. But, of course, you don't have to, but it would help me out a lot if you do that. So, let's begin. Bdubs sat cross-legged on one of the many beds in the sleepover room, eyes closed, hands on his knees, attempting to clear his mind, which was replaying the events that happened mere hours ago. The room was quiet, apart from the soft snoring of his fellow roommates. Some went to bed early, intentionally, while others by force. Pulse, can you hear me? Bdubs reached out his mental hand into the darkness of his mind, trying to imagine the starry night sky of the dream world, searching for his friend in the shadows. He was out there somewhere. Silence was his only response as his thoughts slammed against an invisible wall. The memory of Rob sweeping Impulse off his feet before vanishing into the starry night sky above, far from reach. How had the man swept in so fast? Why Impulse? It could have just as easily been him. Instead, was it just mere chance, or was there more going on? No luck? Jem asked, making Bdubs jolt in surprise, opening his eyes to find her sitting in her bed as well, her green eyes watching. Bdubs sighed. It's like I'm hitting an invisible wall. Same. Jem looked away. You didn't get anything else? I told you everything I know, Bdubs insisted. Rob came down and took him away to who knows where. I tried to track him, but then Kyle grabbed me. The next time I tried, I couldn't reach him. So something happened within those 5 to 10 minutes, Jem said softly. Give or take, Bdubs nodded in agreement. There's got to be something we can do. Bdubs swallowed as Jem turned toward the bed beside her. Kate was snuggled in the blankets, unaware of the quiet conversation happening around her. She'd gone to bed early, thinking that everyone would be fine, that there hadn't been an attack, and somehow slept through the mayhem in the kitchen. Dream World could help, Bdubs offered. Someone needs to stick with Scar anyway, in case Gerald shows up again. He already has. Jem shook her head, fidgeting with the forest green blanket. During the attack, when you and Impulse left, we didn't have much time. I know, she said softly. You don't feel anything? Jem shook her head. His kids might be able to. So Dream World it is, then? Yep. Great, I'll see you there. Bdubs beamed, uncrossing his legs and crawling into bed. He rested his head on the pillow, yawning sleepily, letting his eyes close, plummeting him into darkness. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself in the dream world, amidst the spruce trees, tall spruce trees. Potzel crunched under his feet as he got up and looked around. It was quiet, almost like the forest was holding its breath, waiting for something. Bdubs frowned, turning in a complete circle. He was alone. It certainly is no picnic. Bdubs sighed, checking every shadow or strange-looking bush. No sign of Gerald, though this was his forest. Did he really have a claim to this place like this? Bdubs shook the thought aside. No one had a claim here in the dream world. Not even pesky ghosts. Yet the ghost seemed to prefer this place over all the other options. "Hello? Jem, are you there?" Bdubs picked a direction as he began to walk. There was no trail to follow, just forest as far as the eye could see. Where was this place on this floating rock? Was he even in the dream world? Or was he trapped in a dream just like Gerald had done to his friends? He couldn't remember being ambushed by a shadowy nightmare beast. Then again, sometimes nightmares just happen without warning. He kept walking, unsure what he would find out here. Or who. If Gerald was here, he certainly knew where to find him. Unless he was going after someone else. Like Scar. Bdubs reached out his mental hand and looked up at the clear, starry night sky. "Scar, are you okay?" A wave of calm poured into his mind, almost like a whisper. Bdubs turned his head, spotting a clearing ahead. It was small, with damp moss and fossil dotting the plain. Ferns waved lazily against the faintest breeze. In the heart of the clearing was a boulder. Curious, Bdubs approached the clearing. Someone was sitting on the boulder, staring calmly into the sky. "Scar?" Bdubs asked. The hermit turned, his face lighting up when he saw him. "Well, hello there." "Hey," Bdubs said with uncertainty. "How are you feeling?" "I'm fine," Scar said matter-of-factly, patting on the empty space on the boulder. "Blech. Why don't you have a seat?" "Why are you so calm?" Bdubs frowned. "You were terrified of this place." "Yeah," Scar nodded, looking over at the trees on the other side of the clearing. "Nowhere was safe that Gerald couldn't ruin." Bdubs nodded. "I'm sorry about that, but at least he seems to be leaving you alone now." Scar chuckled as Bdubs climbed up to join his friend. Taking a seat, he turned his attention to Scar, noting how the hermit fidgeted with his hands as he looked up into the night sky. "It's quite lovely out here," Scar mused quietly after a long moment. "You're not being chased." "I bet," Bdubs agreed. "Gerald was ruthless," Scar admitted. "When Rob showed up and took his shots, Gerald dragged me into a nightmare. I was trapped with him. Cornered me over and over." "I'm sorry," Bdubs said quietly. "If we'd known I wasn't finished." Scar cleared his throat. "After Grian and I were able to fend him off, I realized that he truly had no power here. Not any less than we did. So I found a way to escape the nightmare, only to find myself in a new one." Bdubs nodded. "So you know Rob took Impulse?" "He did?" Scar blinked, surprised. "He managed to fly out of a window after trying to attack you." Bdubs replied. "And within that time caught up with Kyle, who kidnapped Grian, when we showed up to stop him." Scar lowered his head. Grian was in trouble. I could feel his fear, and Gerald telling me that there was nothing I could do. "Grian's safe," Bdubs insisted. Scar smiled sadly. "For now." "Yeah," Bdubs replied. "Kyle and Carnival wanted Grian, but he retreated once the others arrived. So he'll be back." "Probably," Bdubs shrugged. "I was looking for gems so we could find Skids. We need help to find Impulse." Scar mused, giving his friend a side smile. "What if I told you I know where they are?" "Gem and Skids?" Bdubs asked. "How?" "Same way you did find me." Scar pointed up to the sky, following the link. Bdubs nodded, opening his mind again, reaching out his mental hand. "Then how far?" "None at all," Scar agreed cheerfully, hopping down from the boulder before turning to him. "Are you coming?" Yeah, Bdubs said, scrambling down the boulder. The duo began walking towards the tree line. "So Gerald hasn't shown up in a while?" "No," Scar replied softly. He's probably was busy with something else, like torturing impulse, Bdubs asked. It's possible. Nothing more was said between them as Bdubs walked side by side with Scar. There was no hint of fear coming off the other hermit. Bdubs trekked on. Only confidence, determination. Bdubs couldn't help but smile. The old Scar was starting to come back, which could only mean one thing. Gerald was losing his hold on him. The duo arrived at the edge of the forest, Bdubs spotting a cabin next to a lake. The lake was like glass, reflecting the stars above. Bdubs didn't know better. He would have thought it was a hole into the void. It was a dock near the lake. It was two people sitting on the edge, their legs hanging over the water. Each were holding fishing poles, casting them out every so often. There you are! Bdubs broke out into a run. We've been looking for you. Jem turned and smiled. Care to join us? Aren't we supposed to be looking for Impulse? Bdubs frowned. We are, Skiz said cheerfully. I'm trying to drag him into a happy memory. When we were fishing together for the first time, Jem giggled. He's telling me all about it. I just think something like that would help. Do you feel anything? Bdubs asked as Scar took a seat next to Jem, a fishing pole appearing in his hand. Little bits here and there. Skiz's face fell. He's not in pain. I know that much, but I can tell it's not okay. What are they doing to him? Scar furrowed his brow. Skiz shook his head. I don't know. Bdubs swallowed, taking a seat next to Skiz. Maybe if we could work together, we can make it easier. That's the plan, Jem replied, reeling in her pole. A fish on the other end. Ready when you are, Skiz. Skiz nodded, putting his pole aside as he looked up into the night sky. Bdubs followed his gaze, letting his mental hand connect with Skiz's. Feelings of giddiness and joy soared through him like rain, and as he similarly pushed strength and defiance towards Skiz, they had to try, no matter what it took. That is where we're going to end this chapter. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with chapter 22, which will return back to Impulse. Something interesting is going to happen. There's a reason why I'm breaking it up, because the reveal is going to be interesting. I don't know if you guys are going to like it, but it makes sense to the story, unfortunately. So yeah.